First and foremost, before we get to the racing, is Fernando Alonso dating Taylor Swift?
I don't know, Mike. I haven't seen any definitive evidence, but that is the rumor that is swirling right now among Formula One fans and Swifties.
Interesting, because she's on tour, and
right.
He obviously is right in the going on.
Also
in his
kind
F1
of on
season.
tour, yeah.
Exactly. So I don't know when they would be able to spend any time together.
Right.
When they met, because she didn't break up too long ago with her boyfriend. So I find it hard to believe after she broke up with her boyfriend, she somehow met Fernando Alonso and they were able to start dating when they were both clearly in their season. So I'm not real sure about that one.
And full disclosure, I'm not a Swiftie, as we've talked about with Gojo before. I'm kind of a fan from afar, but I am a big Formula One fan. So I've been all over the Formula One side of it and not really sure what her fans are saying. But Fernando Alonso kind of like played into it a little bit during the Azerbaijan Grand Prix weekend. So, we're all having fun with the rumors out here.
Always good with those rumors. Always enjoy that. And before we get to the actual race itself, we were talking about the sprint series that they are using as well, talking about even increasing some of that during the week of qualifying and the sprint races, and they're still kind of tinkering. What do you use it for? How they're going to be points? Does it have anything to do with the lineup on the grid? They're still kind of working through all that. But the one guy that hates it is Max Verstappen. He says, scrap the whole thing. They're talking about increasing the sprint races. He's talking about scrapping the whole thing. Basically, is it because George Russell ran him off the road? And supposedly, well, that's what Max said anyway.
Yeah.
He is not happy with the sprint series at all.
Yeah, Max was not happy with George Russell, like you said, kind of pushing him wide during the sprint race. And had some very choice words for him after the race, which people can Google because I'm not sure if I'm allowed to say it on the show. But
yeah, it definitely went somewhere. Yeah,
he was not happy. But I think there's a lot of drivers and team principals and even fans who are not completely sold on the sprint idea. And I think they're doing it 6 times this season. And as I explained to you last week, it's a little confusing. It's a lot to have to remember. There's qualifying for the Sunday race. There's qualifying for the sprint race. There's not as much time to practice and kind of get the car set up on each track now on Fridays because you're qualifying for Sunday. And also qualifying on Friday means a lot of fans can't watch qualifying in certain parts of the world because, some of us have to go to work. We can't be glued to ESPN. Some of us do glue themselves to ESPN for work, which is nice. But it's definitely kind of controversial. But, Formula One wants to have really high stakes on Saturdays and Sundays, and they think that by doing sprint races, which is a format that I don't think it's proven to fans makes for a more exciting race on Sunday. I actually don't think it really does anything for Sunday's race other than maybe would disqualify someone if they get in a bad accident or something like that. But they've decided that that's what they want to try, and so they tried it a different way this weekend. I mean, the race was pretty boring. It was not an exciting race on Sunday. And the sprint, other than Max and George Russell having a little bit of a, contact and then a verbal altercation afterwards, really kind of a dud. But there's a lot of reasons for it. It's not because of the sprint race. There's also questions about the type of track that they're racing on and all sorts of things. But yeah, it was, coming back after 4 weeks to that, a little underwhelming, I think.
Yeah. I agree. It does nothing for the Sunday race. They're just trying to give the fans something more to watch instead of just qualifying.
Sell more tickets, right? Get more people to watch on Saturdays.
To watch some races. So as far as the weekend went, and especially the race on Sunday, to start it out, I want to do this because I love your F1 Minute on Dan's show, on Dan Le Batard's show. So when you do that, and last year you did one, was it in French?
It was in French, yeah.
That was very impressive. This one is not in French, but this is Jess's F1 Minute.
This is going to be a good one. I don't think you guys are ready. After a blank space on the calendar, Formula One is back in Azerbaijan despite its reputation for tight corners and narrow roads. F1 is putting a sprint race in Baku. On Saturday, Charles Leclerc is fearless in pole position as the sprint begins. But at the start, London boy George Russell delivers some karma to Max Verstappen, making him a move to push him wide. Max is red, but George says, "Don't blame me." Number 22, Yuki Tsunoda, clips the wall and loses a tire after just 2 laps. At the restart, Sergio Perez has a lead with 5 laps left. It's time to go. Checo wins the sprint race, but Max and George have bad blood when the race ends. You guys see what I'm doing yet?
Will there be vigilante shit on Sunday?
This
Max,
is amazing.
you need to calm down because it's lights out and away we go in Baku. Sparks fly, and Verstappen is driving like he's in a getaway car and pulls out into the lead. Long story short, Nick DeVries has a glitch and a safety car ensues. Perez is in the lead after a slew of pit stops, but he's not out of the woods yet. The one driver, Max Verstappen, has speed, but that's when Sergio Perez says, bye-bye, baby. As the race ends, Esteban Ocon goes into the pit, but the mastermind race organizers have let press onto the treacherous pit lane. This is why we can't have nice things. 7-time champion Lewis Hamilton finishes in 6th. The last great American dynasty, Haas, finishes out of the points, but today was a fairy tale for Sergio Perez. Verstappen finishes in 2nd, which is better than revenge. 1-2 for Red Bull is nothing new. They don't have champagne problems on the podium, but the anti-hero Max Verstappen is only ahead in the Drivers' Championship by 6 points. Fernando Alonso and Taylor Swift rumors are swirling. Long live Formula One.
Oh, that's awesome. I love that. I love London boy George Russell.
I know. I posted this on TikTok, and so many people were like, "He's not from London," and I'm like, doesn't matter.
Yeah, never let the truth get in the way of a good flow.
When you live in America, anyone from the UK is from London, right?
Yeah,
Like, we
that's exactly
don't know
right.
other cities in the UK. We're stupid.
Completely agree.